Good evening, guys. It's Jim from JAGfx.com. It's Tuesday, the 9th of May 2017, and this is just my... Sorry about that. That's my EA's going crazy through my phone. Yeah, it's Tuesday, 9th of May 2017. This is my weekly video analysis on the daily charts. Remember, I'm only trading the daily charts at the moment. So first up, we'll have a look at the news as usual. Already had some news out of Australia today. The budget was released and retail sales. The Aussie dollar took a bit of a slide, but seems to be pulling back a little bit at the moment. This week, usual suspects, things to be aware of on Thursday, early Thursday morning for me. New Zealand interest rate statement. Looks like it's expected to remain as is. Then they'll have the usual speeches after that, a press conference, etc. So just be careful of that. Then probably a bigger one later on Thursday is the official bank rate out of the UK, out of Great Britain. Expecting no changes there, but if you're in any Great British pound trades, it might be a bit of a mover and a shaker for you. So just be careful about that. And then on the weekend, the G7 meetings start on Friday, then go through the weekend. Usual stuff out the US late on Friday night, the core retail sales, etc. And as you'll know by now, the French presidential election is done and dusted. It was completed over the weekend. Not much of effect on the markets from that one. So let's get on the charts because we've got plenty to look at. Alright, as usual, we start with the Aussie New Zealand. Technically, I guess there was some sort of sell signal there. I didn't take it. I've marked it just with a grey vertical line. It's now sitting close on the 240 LMA. It just wasn't, there was no divergence there for me to take that signal to sell. Just doesn't comply with my rules, even though it wouldn't have been a bad trade. Right, let's go to the Euro. Now, I was stopped out on a sell on this red dot up here. I had a stop across those highs there. I've drawn this trend line in. It's gone up here somewhere, and now I've taken another sell this morning on the break of this trend line. So I'm in a second sell, like a re-entry. I'm still in a buy, a small buy, with a stop at break even. I've already taken some profit on that, and I'm in another sell all the way down here. So I've just got to work my way out of it. I like what I see on the MACD Platinum. It's a double top there. It's rolling over nicely. So hopefully this will just drop like a rock and will be sweet. Getting a bit messy, the old chart, but you can see all my notes there. Pound New Zealand dollar. I'm in a few trades here. You can see, as usual, the vertical lines, whether they're red or blue, red for sell, blue for buy, and the horizontal lines are the actual levels I entered. Same deal, red for sell, blue for buy. And as you can see, there's plenty of sells and prices way above it. I'm in 3 trades here at different position levels, 0.02, 0.06 and 0.10. So this yellow dashed horizontal line here is my overall break even area. So that's what I'm aiming for, just to get out of these. MACD still above the 0 level. And once you can see the note here, once I've closed this pair out, then it's getting removed. I'm just not happy with the risk on the pound, especially the pound New Zealand. It can move. Right, the USD Canadian dollar. I was stopped out of my buy on this. I didn't realise it. I stopped out a few days. I made note of that in my Facebook group this morning. Now I'm in a sell trade and I've got a stop in. I'm just going to try and be a bit more user friendly, or how would you say it, a bit safer with more conservative with my trading. I do let some trades go against me a long way, and I know it's most people in the group probably don't, or watch these videos probably don't trade that way. Most trade with stops, so I'm going to start placing stops where I think there's a good position for one. As you can see here, we've got big regular bearish divergence. Even though it's going against me, if this holds here, it's a long way above the the MAs. It looks like it wants to roll over, but time will tell. So I'm in the sell there, and it's going against me a little bit, but not too bad, and I've got to stop in place. Aussie Canadian, I'm in a sell here, a double top on price. You can see it here. I've already closed out part of my trade. My stop's at break even, so I can't really lose anything. It's all based on like I said, a double top on price and hidden bearish divergence down here. It's getting close to crossing the zero level, so I can say it looks like price is bouncing off this 240 LMA and probably head up again. Aussie Swiss franc, I'm in plenty of buys on this one, as you can see, and I made note of this I think last week, or the amount, how far or how long the MACD platinum's been below the zero level. This is hot, this is unusual to say the least, so I'm expecting it to head up eventually through the zero level. I'm in plenty of buys. You can see the 4 buys there. They're all different position sizes. This is the old way of trading. There's my overall break even, so hopefully it'll just roll up there somewhere. That's the plan anyway. Pound Aussie, another one. I'm in 3 sell trades, 2 on the daily and 1 from an old 12-hour chart. Again, I'm going to close this pair out once it removed from my profile. Here's my overall break even, going way against me at the moment. It's not good, not good at all. New Zealand USD, New Zealand dollar. In several buys here, 3 buys by looks. You can see them all marked here. Aiming for this overall yellow line here. The last trade was taken on that regular bullish divergence. Again, different levels for entry. Hence my overall break-ins at this level here. Euro Canadian, there's a nice sort of sell signal up here. Again, it would have been against the trend. You can see the MAs are starting to spread, it's starting to head up. I haven't got any divergence of note to tell me to take that trade. I could have taken a small sell, a small position size, a stop just above that high, if I just want to test the water, so to speak, but I didn't take it. But that's something I'm going to be looking at in the future. Pound, Swiss franc. I mean, plenty of sells, and it's going against me big time here. You can see all my sell trades. There's actually 2 on the daily charts and 2 from the 12-hour and 1 from the 8-hour. So I've got myself in a bit of a mess here, and I'm going to have to work my way out of it. It's another pair I'm going to be removing once I close them out, but it could be a while before I close these out, so I've just got to try and work my way out of them. Drawing trend line here, you can see the MAs are starting to split. I know it's a little bit hard to see in the chart, but yeah, not good. And here's another problem child. It's funny how all the problem childs all got the same denominator, Great British Pound. But we're in buys here. I missed an opportunity, I think, back here just with my daily trades. Most of these are from 8-hour and 12-hour charts, these 4 buys I've got on. So I'm just going to try and work out of them on the daily chart. There's my overall break even, just up here somewhere. So it's not that far away, but it's going to take some work. New Zealand Canadian, it's been going a bit sideways this. I'm in a sell. MACD still above the zero level. I'm in the 1 trade. Nil stop in place, as you can see, based on hidden bearish divergence. MAs are very flat, so I'm quite happy to trade this pair, both sides. No worries at all. Canadian, Swiss franc. Again, there's a buy signal down here. Just move that across so you can on that one there, but nothing, no divergence against the trend. Again, you could have taken a bit of a nibble just with a small position size, tight stop underneath this low down here, but for me, as I said, I'm trying to be pretty conservative, and I'm just reassessing the way I'm going to do my money management coming up. I want to try and get in trades a little bit earlier with a smaller position size and a stop, so I'm protecting, as I suggested previously. New Zealand Swiss franc. This was a good regular bullish divergence trade. My entry was in this area here. It did go against me, came down. I didn't have a stop in place. since recovered nicely, and now we're heading up towards the moving averages. So yeah, it's worked out well. Nice to see one trade does. Euro Aussie. Looks like there's a possibility of a double top on MACD Platinum. We still need some sort of confirmation from the QMP. MAs look like they're just about to cross and start to head up. And the normally this goes opposite to the Aussie USD, so it's been heading down, this thing will head up. They're sort of inversely correlated, I guess you could say. But there's a possibility here. Remember, I only draw these red lines as an indication of possible divergence forming until I get confirmation. It is not divergence. Talking about the speak of the devil, Aussie USD. I'm in a buy here, gone well against me. MACD Platinum still well, not well below the zero level, but below the zero level. It was based on bullish divergence. That bullish divergence is still, and that would have been from in that area. And at the way it's going at the moment, there's still bullish divergence there, as long as this doesn't drop down way too far. But it looks like it's starting to stall a bit here. I'll just have a look, see if it's any sort of support resistance levels. Yeah, see through here, the current price level now, you have a look back through the charts here. There's one area, another couple of areas there. So it can be a, oh yeah, look at that, there, a bit through there. But yeah, it is a level at the moment. So you just zoom out and have a look sometimes, it just gives you an idea why price is stalling or bouncing. And here's another example. This is the USD Swiss franc. I took a buy on this morning. I'll just zoom out, in a little bit so you can see it. Buy on this one this morning. The buy signal's there. The only reason I took it is the MAs are really tight and flat. So I'm going to trade both ways when that happens. And you look at this yellow line I've drawn here, and I've made a note. Price bounced off a support zone. Look at this. You know, remember, it's not a price; it's a zone. So it's come down here, very close. Come down there, sort of held on the body of the candles. Here it's sort of touched, and if we just, you can see it's sort of in here. Look at that. You know, like it's bounced up. Here it's sort of sitting on it, and it's obviously broken it. It's not a perfect science. Don't get me wrong, but it's just something to have a look at sometimes. The support and resistance levels, especially on the daily charts or the weekly charts. So we're in a buy there. It's looking good. We'll see how that pans out. USD Singapore dollar. Just waiting at the moment. MACD's above the zero level, so next trades I'll be looking for will be a sell, but nothing doing at the moment. USD Japan, same deal. Nothing happening at the moment. We've got this grey vertical line. Grey vertical line just tells me that there's something happening. So I've got a red MACD Platinum dot here. Nothing on the QMP. I draw the red lines in there just to show me there is the possibility of bearish divergence forming. Remember, red is for sell, green is for buy. Euro Swiss franc. Yeah, here's one that's gone against me. This would have been a perfect one to have a stop, which I didn't have. The stop would have been across these highs here, but not to be. Have to work my way out of it. I'm not too concerned about this particular pair. It's a pair that sort of sticks in a pretty tight range, and it's fairly easy to work your way out of trouble. MACD is a long way above the zero level, so eventually it'll roll over and I'll hopefully pick up another sell on the way down. I've drawn these little lines here just to show there's a gap from the first round of the French presidential election, a weekend gap. Hasn't been filled yet. It eventually will be filled. It could be months, but it will be filled. But at the moment, I'm in a trade that's going against me, so I've got to work my way out of it. Euro New Zealand dollar. There's another sell trade I took based on regular bearish divergence. I took this trade this morning. You can see the red lines there. You can see my entry level. I think I was about 20 pips late, but with this pair it moves a lot of pips, so 20 pips is nothing. Remember, I'm checking the charts about 3 to 4 hours after the actual new daily candle, which is great. I'm enjoying my sleep-ins, but missing my early morning quiet time. So yeah, this is against the trend, but price is a long way above the MA, so my thinking is it has to sort of come back to them, or they have to go up to price, one or two. And you can see the divergence there, so we'll see how that pans out, but looking alright at the moment. USD PLN, which is, remember this, Polish zloty. This is a bit of an interesting one. I took a buy on this morning. It's a nice regular bearish divergence there. You can't see it, but it's from that dot to that dot. Just match it up with these ones down the bottom here on the MACD. And I've just noticed this sort of channel forming. And it's a very good looking channel if you're a channel trader. You may have recalled on Facebook this morning I said people would actually, I'll just move the blue line out of the way, people would actually trade this, like plan on that bouncing at that, close to that trend line. So they would have entered, I say, a buy limit order. So when price came down, buy with a stop below it somewhere, aiming to target to the top of that channel. That's a very good example of channel trading. But for me, it's just a divergence, regular bullish divergence. So if it does get up near this channel line, anywhere in this sort of area, then I'll look at start scaling out, moving stop, etc., and also keep an eye on the MACD Platinum. Euro, Hungarian forint. I'm going to have to learn how to pronounce these words, aren't I? Nothing doing here. Nothing. MAs are starting to spread a little bit. So I'll probably, MACD's below the zero level, so I'll be looking for buys. USD, Mexican peso, in a sell here, it's gone against me. MACD is still above the zero level, so I'm just going to try and wait for another roll over to the downside and maybe pick up another trade. What else we got here? Near the end of the list, which is good. I'll try and keep this video under 20 minutes or close to it. Euro NOK, which as we know is the Norwegian krone. Took a sell here a couple of days ago, not really doing much. It was a nice regular bearish divergence and no stop in place. MAs are starting to spread. Just a good setup. So we'll just see how that pans out. USD, the Hungarian forint. Nothing happening at the moment. I'm waiting for a possible green QMP filter dot, which would give me a buy signal. It looks like there's a double bottom on the MACD Platinum, and which would give me regular bullish divergence on this one. And the MAs are pretty close, and I guess you could say they're technically to the upside, so it would be worth having a look that way. And we've got a Turkish lira, yep, in a buy here, not doing much. It was based on regular bullish divergence. Again, you can see it on the charts here. I wasn't real fussed on this one. I've got this trend line coming down. Any trend lines I've drawn blue, like this aqua colour, it's just an indication that it's something I'm looking at as a trend line, nothing to do with divergence as such. So we've got this trend line, which is a nice trend line. So hopefully price gets up near it. That's when I'll start taking some action. It just looks like it's falling away, this pair, but it was a valid signal, so that's why I took it. USD, South African Rand. The only reason that blue line's there, that blue dash line, I should have taken a buy trade on this one in that area there. Not to be, I missed it for some reason. Now price is above the MACD's above the zero level, so I guess now I'm just waiting for something happening to the downside. Good old gold. Gold is having a bit of a downward rally at the moment. This is the daily chart, remember. Looking for a possible double bottom here on the MACD Platinum. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. I say it's going to be possible. Yeah, may form some sort of bullish divergence, because I'll definitely be looking for trades to the upside from now on. But at the moment, nothing happening. And silver is in a big fall also, and we've got a blue MACD Platinum dot, but nothing. There's no divergence. It's going Looks like the MAs are rolling over to the downside, so if I did get a buy signal there, I'd be reluctant to take it. I might test the waters with a small position or something like that. Pound USD. I wasn't a buy, a sell, marked by this red line here. I just kept the red line in so I know where I'm at. And I was stopped out for a small loss. And I've drawn this small blue trend line here, looking for a possible re-entry, because that's MACD still heading down, still a red dot up here, so there's still a valid sell signal. I would just like to see a nice break of this blue trend line. So I think that's about it, guys. And once again, I'd like to thank any new members of the Facebook group. Remember, everyone's welcome to join in the Facebook group and contribute. It's always appreciated to hear other people's views and see how the trading's going, etc. Also, welcome to any new members of the YouTube channel that subscribe. It is appreciated. And also remember, I'm contactable by email for anyone that wants to just chat or bounce any ideas off me, talk about my stuff or their own stuff or whatever. Happy to assist. And in the meantime, I'm going to be tidying my charts up a bit. The problem with these ones is I've got other EAs and stuff running in the background, so it's sort of, there's lines on the chart that you're probably looking at going, wondering what they are. That's the reason why. And I just want to tidy things up, get a trade copy going, etc. But anyway, that's Tuesday. Enjoy your week. Watch out for the Great British Pound and also New Zealand interest rate news, and with G7 meetings coming up this weekend. Thanks everyone for being a part of the JAGfx family. Cheers.